There is, however, this view from other academics, other scholars, who think that delaying the impeachment to when session resumes in June 2 might frustrate both the word forthwith in the Constitution and also principles of accountability. And I think I was in a conversation with Justice VP Mendoza on this, where he says that the great battlefield of constitutional law today is the meaning of the word, or is the word forthwith. So I wonder if what your thoughts would be in relation to that. Would delaying impeachment actually result in frustrating accountability?
You know, to resolve that question, I have asked the President to call a special session. Even if you don't include as an item in the special session the impeachment trial, the Constitution provides that the Senate that the impeachment trial shall take place forthwith in the Senate. So even when as a reality, when the President calls the Senate into a special session, the first item on the agenda is consideration of the impeachment complaint filed by the House. And that will be referred to the impeachment court. And then you start the impeachment trial. So I strongly believe that when the President calls for a special session, the impeachment trial immediately takes place because of the mandate of the Constitution.
Thank you, Senator Delon. Justice Carpio Morales?
According to Black Dictionary, forthwith means immediately, at once, but it also considers reasonable delay.
Some of the senators, current senators, are running for re-election. To me, these constitute circumstances that can abate the use of the word forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice. Prof. Gwen? Prof. Claire?
Thank you, Justice. My understanding of the word forthwith used in the Constitution is not just immediately, but also a sense, as Justice Carpio Morales pointed out, reasonableness, that it means avoidance, undue delay. So that if the action of the Senate is not animated or motivated by imposing undue delay in commencing the proceedings, I think they would well be in compliance with the constitutional mandate to proceed with the impeachment trial forthwith.
Thank you. Prof. Claire?
As litigators would know, often when you go before a court and ask for time, the court will usually ask you if you're trying to delay the proceedings. So the question of forthwith, I think, also goes into motivation or intent, or things that you can foresee or cannot foresee. So I would agree with Justice Carpio Morales that while it would mean by ordinary meaning, immediately, but it also takes into account circumstances. It also takes into account reason, and it takes into account things that the Senate cannot control, like the recess. The objective circumstances being that the transmittal was made on the last day of the session, and they had gone into recess before they had referred it to the impeachment court. Therefore, that may constitute, even though there is a span of time that intervenes, that may constitute reasonable delay, as it were, and would not frustrate the meaning of the word forthwith.
Commissioner Sarmiento, I'd like to ask if you have a response to these views.
I see the wisdom of the responses of Senator Frank, Justice Carpio, and my co-panelists. But I mentioned in my presentation, this is a very novel addition in our history as a people, not even found in previous constitutions and many constitutions of the world. Very unique provision in the Constitution. Traditionally, yes, on recess cannot be, unless the President calls for a special session. But this is a novel addition in the Constitution. And in the light of the intention of the framers of the Constitution, na walang patumpik-tumpik, umpisan kaagad. Because it's a time compelling, significant activity in our country. Accountability, checking of use of powers, etc., etc. Then, to me, I would say that regardless of the recess, a time impeachment trial should begin in the light of this constitutional provision.
Yeah. I cannot accept the proposition that simply because the senators will be campaigning such an important and critical constitutional duty to constitute itself as an impeachment court and try the impeachment complaint can be deferred. Firstly, the Constitution says shall be tried forthwith. And we give ordinary meaning to ordinary words. Forthwith means immediately. And it is my respectful submission that the campaign period is not a valid reason to postpone. And in fact, there should be no circumstance to justify a deferment because the Constitution mandates the performance of a constitutional duty forthwith. The only reason why we need a special session is the formal referral of the impeachment complaint to the impeachment court.
Thank you, Senator.
Mr. Tamase, may I make a follow-up? We have in constitutional law the doctrine of constitutional supremacy. All laws, all regulations, all contracts have to yield to the supremacy of the Constitution. I think all lawyers would know that doctrine. So if recess is a legal provision, it is a provision in the rules of the Senate, they have to yield to the command of the Constitution about forthwith proceed.
Thank you, Commissioner Sarmiento. I understand it may have also been in line with the innovations in the 1987 Constitution to make it.
To preserve constitutional government, to preserve the order in our country, to avoid chaos. So to me, the lowering is very relevant to this forthwith proceed provision in the Constitution.
Thank you, Commissioner Sarmiento. I think the reason why, Justice, thank you. Would you have a response to this question, to the points of Commissioner Sarmiento? Thank you, Justice.
I'm going to respond to the fact that, wait, the Hello Garcia case, Hello Garcia, I'm sorry. The Supreme Court said that the Senate is a continuing body. It's a continuing institution. But the discharge of its day-to-day normal functions, it is independent of the predecessor. In other words, it's not bound by what the preceding Congress Senate did. So any unfinished matter can be considered as if it's set for the first time. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Chit.